This is what happens when you let people transition in adolescence before they've had a chance to grow up, before they had a chance to even learn who they were. Not just but pressure people to transition at these ages. Young, vulnerable people who are already so suggestible.
You are going to see why this should never be happening.
Hello, my name is Karen Selva. I use she and her pronouns. I'm a pediatric endocrinologist and the medical director of the Randall Children's Hospital T-Clinic. This clinic provides multidisciplinary care to transgender or gender-expansive youth and their families. Today, I would like to discuss the use of pubertal suppression or puberty blockers in transgender and gender-expansive youth. Puberty blockers work at the level of the pituitary gland, and they actually suppress the release of the LH and the FSH so that the sex organs are no longer stimulated.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm on daddy duty these days. I might look a little exhausted. I signed up for it. But anyway, let's move forward. Oh my gosh, the stuff I just found is just incredible and crazy. And I just cannot believe we keep doing this to kids. So with that, I think I found some really great stuff to help all of you who are maybe on the fence or maybe don't think what we all keep telling you about puberty blockers isn't true. I think hopefully all of the things I'm going to stitch together for you today will put together a better, informative, factual story of why this should never be happening to kids. So with that, thanks so much for subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much for liking this video and the comments. I really do try to read all the comments. Been a little bit crazy these last couple weeks, but I'll get back into the swing. So thanks for being patient with me as well. So with that, let's move forward in the rest of this video. And this lady is nuts. She called it the T clinic. These people, you see what they do? They use language to make it sort of like fun and happy. And you know, this is serious business. They're messing with children. Oh my God. I just can't. It's so upsetting.
It doesn't produce estrogen anymore, and the testicle doesn't produce testosterone. Thus, the signs that we see from these hormones are blocked and don't progress in puberty. What are the benefits of using puberty blockers? Well, the main benefit is that they prevent the unwanted and permanent effects of puberty, and thus future surgeries can be avoided as an adult. We can prevent the need for any chest reconstruction in affirmed trans males or facial feminization surgery in trans females.
See, I told you that's what they want to do. It's all about physical traits. They don't care about what's happening in the brain or other parts of the body. They literally just said to you, it's about making sure that you don't have to have surgery later on and that you won't be feminized as a trans man with boobs or masculinized as a trans woman, so you won't have to get facial feminization or other bullshit. Can you imagine that this is really the focus of these puberty blockers? Nothing else matters to these people.
They are also reversible, and thus if the patient decides to stop using pubertal blockers, their endogenous puberty will resume as previous. Using pubertal blockers can alleviate the depression or worsening gender dysphoria that is often associated with progressing pubertal changes. And lastly, the use of puberty suppression is recommended by the Pediatric Endocrine Society in their clinical guidelines for the treatment of transgender and gender diverse youth. What are the potential risks of puberty blockers? The practice of using puberty suppressors in transgender youth is new.
It's new. Pay attention here.
Since the first clinical guidelines were only published in 2009. Thus, we don't have long-term studies with long-term outcomes and data yet.
What? She just literally admitted they don't have long-term studies and they don't know, yet they're still going to tell you that it's reversible, yet she just admitted she doesn't know shit about shit. And there she is giving kids this shit. Like, what This is so insane, and why we need to listen to these wingnut doctors who are experimenting on your kids, okay? No, there's no such thing as trans kids. Stop it already. So then I want to bring up this because it's so, wow, I just took a deep dive while I was babysitting. So I love the body language dude. So he looked at this video too, and this is what he said.
We are talking about crazy parents, soccer moms that are, have been way too much into alcohol or something like that. They want to know the social clout, and they want to chop their son's dicks and their daughter's tits. It's that simple. That's what they want to do, to be part of the transparent club. Oh, that sounds nice. Transparent club. I should copyright that. But then no such thing as a transgender or gender expansive youth exists. That is nonsense. And these people are just reaffirming something that is just a mental illness from the parents, like transmitted from the parents into children, and thanks, of course, to teachers and doctors, quote unquote, like this.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Body language, Dr. Jesus. Are you a doctor? I don't know. Maybe you're just a body language dude. I don't know, but you sound like a doctor. I guess anyone could be a doctor these days. It doesn't even matter anymore. It's so ridiculous. I was like, what is happening? I love what he said. I just had to slip that in there because it's like they just want to cut their little kids into it's crazy. These parents are crazy that they even think any of this kind of shit is real. So, as you know, we have detransitioners who were put on puberty blockers, and why this next person is so important in this conversation. They are somebody who actually took the puberty blockers, okay? You can't deny. But of course, the trans community tries to hide these voices. One thing I want to let you know is on TikTok, they're actually letting this conversation come back, which is actually pretty amazing. So listen to this, kiddo.
I know all of you take one hormone and then you become trans rights activists. I wanted to give myself time to really explore my feelings and detransition before I shared them with you. But if you want to see the truth, this is the truth. I'm an almost 30-year-old man. This is what I look like. This is what I sound like as an almost 30-year-old man. This is what happens when you let people transition in adolescence before they've had a chance to grow up. Before they had a chance to even learn who they were. Not just but pressure people to transition at these ages. Young, vulnerable people who are already so suggestible. And I feel like everyone is ignoring the pain because they are afraid that it threatens their choices and their narrative. If you want to transition in your 20s, you've had a chance to be a man or a woman, and this is what you want to do. Okay, that's one thing. But the active pressuring of people to transition so they can preserve their femininity, which is what happened with me. I was told that if I allowed myself to age, that I would become masculine and that it would never be possible and that I would do it anyway, and that I would be a more masculine transgender person like them. Wow. And so I made the choices that I thought were right for me at the time. I do take accountability. I did it in secret from my parents. I take accountability for all of my choices. But when is the trans community going to take accountability for theirs? For leading me down this path? This is the face of an almost 30-year-old man. This is the voice of an almost 30-year-old man.
I just can't. That one my stomach hurts. That is what puberty blockers do. This is what they want for these young kids to not grow up. That just is the freakiest, weirdest thing ever, okay? Because how can this person right here who was put on the puberty blockers, they even said they did it behind their parents' back. I don't know how they did that. But are you listening to these people who took the actual puberty blockers and hate how they are now? How can you expect a child to understand the future when they don't even understand what they're living in at the moment. It is 100% child abuse. And the sicko trans community activists are pushing this nonsense. These wingnut wackadoodle doctors and surgeons and everybody calling it gender affirming care are out of their minds. And I truly cannot understand where they're coming from and why they think that this is helping any of this cause to help an adult live in a beautiful, amazing space that they chose for themselves and move forward in their lives to be healthy people. None of this is healthy. And most of the people who are exposing this don't have a problem with an adult transsexual. They don't. They'll always say, I don't care what an adult does. Go right ahead. They care about these kids being shoved into this horrifying space. That person's testimony right there is everything. Everything. This next one, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind.
So there are 300,000 transgender youth as of 2022. That population has doubled since 2017. There are 17,000 minors on puberty blockers. And the increase in chest surgeries, mastectomies for minors was 389% between 2016 and 2019. So
you know, the argument is it's nothing. It's nominal. It's such a small, who cares? Gavin Newsom has even said that himself. Why are we litigating this? Such a small amount of people. Like, first of all, any child that you're sterilizing, you're compromising the development of their brain, their bones, you're taking away sexual function for the rest of their lives.
Correct.
One kid's too many.
Too.
Right.
Incontinence.
No incontinence. That's a new one. Like, one kid is too many.
Yes.
But they're lying about the numbers. That's what's even crazier. It's such a small.
So
who
let me
cares?
give you
It's such a small number.
But
what do you mean?
yet,
who cares?
it's not a small industry. Okay. In 2022, the market size. Okay, this includes the surgeries, revenue from the surgeries, and revenue from the hormone treatment was 4.1 billion. In 2018, that was in 2022. In 2018,
Hold on. What? Here we go. The money. I wish I didn't even have to think that, but it has to be money. We all know what pharmaceutical companies, we know what corporations, it's all the bottom line. It's all about making money. They are using kids. I have the chills to make money. When you hear these stats, it is out of, and what he said before, the stats of how many young people, mostly girls getting, all girls getting mastectomies. And then the rate, 17,000 children are on puberty blockers. Oh, there's hardly any of them. And they're not just giving them out like candy. These are facts, people. Well, here, now listen to the money.
it was 2.94 billion.
Oh my God.
And by 2030, it is expected to be 7.8 billion. That is a 8.4% compounded annual growth rate. That exceeds the healthcare industry, which is only growing at 5%. Now, here's something really shocking I found. Surgery revenue for transgender surgeries in 2022 was $2.5 billion. Okay. The total cosmetic surgery market in the United States for that year was 16 billion. So trans surgery represents 15% of the revenue for cosmetic surgery in the United States in 2022, despite the fact that trans population is 0.6% of the population.
Okay, I mean, that's it. Bam. Should we all just hello, shut it down? There it is. There it is, right there. Come on, you can't, this isn't a lie. This man did research. It's there. Someone finally took the time to actually do the research. I'm transsexual. I am not anti-transitioning. I am anti-transitioning young children, babies, kids, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds. What do you people think you're doing? You're wingnuts to even touch a child in this way. You are the ones who are creating the way people will take all transgender, transsexual medicine off the table. This next one, another factual piece.
What are the consequences, the potential risks of starting to take puberty blockers at 11 years old?
So these are the same medications they use for advanced prostate cancer, Lupron, because it castrates the hormones from an individual's body. It like shuts the whole system off. A lot of these older men can't tolerate it because they have such severe mental responses to it. They get depressed. They lose all of their energy. They go into menopause. They have hot flashes. They can only do it for a couple of months before they can't tolerate it. And they're doing this to kids who are 11 years old. It's more than that when you do it to a kid, because what happens is they essentially do not go through puberty. So number one, you will sterilize them because you don't undergo the exposure to the hormones that allow the maturation from immature sperm to mature sperm or immature eggs to mature eggs. If you never undergo that process, you never develop the cellular architecture necessary for fertilization. And then you can also develop in boys a permanent micropenis, like in the case of Jazz Jennings. Because his puberty was blocked, he never underwent the growth of his sexual organs. You have adult men who have permanently arrested sexual anatomy. The moment that's arrested is when they're 11 years old.
Dr. Ethan Heim, I think I pronounced his name. He actually is an amazing human and spoke out against this at the hospital, and they came after him, and he had a huge lawsuit, but he finally won. And this man is one of the soldiers and the warriors, and he will go down in history as doing something so amazing for the young people. He was a whistleblower, and he got so nailed by the trans activists, but he came back because people supported him. This is an actual doctor who was seeing it all going on in the hospitals. He's like, what? I don't understand medical people who are just letting this happen. I just don't understand, other than it has to be money or ego or both. I had a couple of other detransition ones I was going to show you. I'll show you this one.
Hi there. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my detransition. I have a question from a commenter. What got you to detransition? The main thing that got me to detransition was that I didn't like any of my masculine features. I like being feminine, and I like having feminine features. So for example, I don't like having excess body hair. I don't like having a deep voice. I don't like having a flat chest. But I do like being smooth. I would prefer to have a higher voice, and I would prefer to have boobs. That's not to say that if you're a trans man and you like feminine things, that doesn't mean that you're not trans. And the same goes for trans women who like being masculine. It doesn't mean that you're any less valid. Well, this is just my own personal journey and what I noticed for myself. So that's why I detransitioned.
So do you see the language there? That always, bless you, friend. I hope everything is going great with you, but you were duped into it again. Okay. And so, but you see, they're still saying that language. It doesn't mean you're any less valid. Yeah, it does. It means you don't have gender dysphoria. Yeah, you're not trans. Just knock it off. Knock it off, people. We need to get back to facts. Okay, understand it's a very small population who are transsexuals who deal with gender dysphoria as they grow, and they can't grow out of it. Most people, as we know, grow out of it. Okay, now this young lady is stuck with everything she hated. Why was she not being told, you're going to grow hair, you're going to get a deep voice, you're going to look like a man, which is what you're supposed to want to do, but you actually hate it? Imagine if they put this kid on puberty blockers, okay? They would have never been able to come out of it because they would have been put on puberty blockers, which would have never enabled them to have any femininity or female characteristics. This person took testosterone as a young person, but they can come out of it because they went through puberty. This last one I want to show you because I put it here for a reason, because you're going to see a male to female who was put on puberty blockers, started to speak out against it, and the whole community came after him. And I want you to see this is what these trans activists say when all of us start to talk about why puberty blockers are disgusting and has nothing to do with gender affirming care. So watch this.
Let's talk about Lupron, a commonly used puberty blocker that definitely can cause infertility. Anytime I have a debate about this subject, a peer-reviewed article gets brought up that says, oh, Lupron is usually completely reversible. See, when I got put on Lupron, the doctors gave me a sheet that looked like this. It says, many of the effects of hormone therapy are reversible if you stop taking them. The degree to which they can be reversed depends on how long you've been taking them.
Yes, just like with anything can have a regret rate. And it's pretty hypocritical of you to want to deny puberty blockers gender affirming care for trans kids, trans youth, when you got to have gender affirming care as a youth. That's pretty hypocritical. It's good for you, but it's not good for anyone else. No one else can have it because you had a regret. Because you can't, or possibly can't, be able to have a biological kid. Nobody should be able to have gender affirming care, especially trans children. But this puberty blocker that you're talking about isn't just used on trans people, as I'm sure you've heard, because there's a lot of people talking to you and stitching your videos and duetting. Cisgender children with precocious puberty are the ones that take these puberty blockers the most. So they don't have puberty. They aren't going through puberty at age 5 or 6 or 7. They get put on them until they're at a good age to start their puberty. So that's okay. It's okay for cis people to be on this drug because cis people know better. Cis people, the effects on them aren't as bad as if you're trans. Just automatically being trans makes it worse. Makes the symptoms and the possible side effects worse because they're trans. Or we just want to limit trans healthcare and everyone else can still have their gender affirming everything, but trans people can't because we're not educated enough, we're not smart enough. Trans children are without any level of intellect. They are without understanding. Like, it's really annoying how many people think that trans kids are incapable of knowledge, incapable of understanding. That's really insulting. Like, I knew that I was going to go through a puberty I didn't want to, and that it was going to ruin my life, and it did, and that I would have irreversible changes, but we don't care about that, right?
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to bring that one was because you see that it's always those types of trans activists. First off, why are you sitting there in your underwear with those weirdo flags behind you? And you look like a psycho, okay? And who's going to take you seriously as you're talking about you wish when you were a child? That's you, okay? This person was actually on puberty blockers, not you. You can fantasize about your childhood all you want. It's a fantasy. This is a factual thing coming out of a person who was literally put on puberty blockers and wish they never were. Why are you people keep saying stuff like that? We can all wish. I wish I was born a dude, but I wasn't. It's not factual. I'm not a dude because I wasn't born that way, okay? So no one ever, and then they say the same thing. Cisgender people with precocious puberty, blah, blah, blah. I honestly don't even think cisgender actual real people should ever be put on that medicine, okay? I personally do not believe anyone should be put on that medicine. That is also a very controversial space to slow down puberty. They were doing it to slow it down, not to stop it, okay? There are different things going on here. So with that, I just wanted to show you how those trans activists are so mad because the truth is coming out. And actually that person saying, that trans activist saying, oh, like kids don't know themselves. Do you have kids? Do you actually have kids? Do you even know? Are you around kids? Do you know kids don't know shit about shit and they learn it all from the adults? So you are the one trying to teach these kids that they know who they are at 10 and that they are trans. You're the twisted weirdo wingnuts teaching these children the most insane ideological space ever. It is going to come back on you tenfold. Hate me all you want. I don't care. I'm here to make sure all of this nonsense gets shut down because you people are nuts. Okay. So with that, I hope you really saw what I was trying to do here today. And I am sick and tired. And it is just, we have to stop this. This to me is literal child abuse. And it is in any other kind of space, we'd all be on board with, no, kids can't be in homes where they're being abused. Like to me, it's the same thing. They're being abused behind closed doors. Our parents just think they're doing the right thing for their kid because some of them are being told the wrong information. So I hope that if you know someone who has a trans kid and is kind of on the fence about not understanding it, please send them this video, or please reach out to other people. Please understand that the more we educate these parents that what they're doing to their kids is not okay, the more we can help to save the future of these children. Okay, so with that, have a great rest of your day. I got to get back to baby and changing poopy diapers. Whoa, I'm going to do a whole video on this. Okay, have an awesome rest of your day.